I'd like to call the meeting of the Huntington Township Board of Supervisors to order and ask you if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. At this time, we'll take public comment on agenda items.
Yeah. On the agenda items, I noticed there's nothing old, but this is kind of old, but it's also new. Last month, Jeff King decided to ridicule my hearing impairment when I asked him to speak up, so I'm now serving you with my official Title II ADA accommodation request. And you know, besides integrity and honesty, you apparently didn't learn that you don't ridicule people with disabilities. The meeting minutes for the March 12th meeting are circulated. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I have none.
None. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as posted.
I'll second.
Then moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. The bill list was circulated. Any questions on the bill list?
No.
No.
I make a motion we accept the bill list as printed.
I will second it.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Financial report for April 6th is available. Any questions? Not, I make a motion we accept the financial statement for April.
I will second.
Then moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Any miscellaneous items? No. Roadmaster's report.
We did a culvert replacement down on Mud Run Road. Took all the plows, spreaders off the trucks. Put new warning flashlights on the grader. That's about all I have.
Okay. Supervisors have anything?
No.
No.
Engineers report.
4 building permits were issued in March, 2 whole building storage buildings, 1 rooftop solar, and 1 above ground swimming pool. I received a complaint about junk on a property at the southern end of Gun Club Road. So I investigated that and issued a letter March 20th giving the property owner 60 days to clean up his property. This has been going on for close to a year, so from my understanding, that's how long the junk and stuff has been there. He was dismantling a prefab, like single wide type of structure, and he stopped doing that in October, November, and he hasn't done anything all winter, so I gave him a couple months before I
Could you talk any softer?
That's the problem here.
Okay. What was I saying? I gave him a couple of months over the winter. He didn't do anything. So then I issued him a letter on March 20th. There are 2 plans currently being reviewed. One for the Towson property on the west side of the borough. I received a time review extension letter from their surveyor. So action is required by the board by June 30th. There's also the Ronald Miller 1 lot subdivision plan. Board action is required by June 21st. And the Planning Commission is working with Andy at the Adams County Planning Office on updating the zoning ordinance. That's going to be going on for more than a year now. In addition to what we've already done a couple months, it's going to be going on for longer than a year.
So we're talking about 2 subdivisions, and how many houses in each subdivision planned?
Well, each plan, there's only 1 lot.
Oh, really?
So there's only one house for each subdivision.
Okay, thank you.
On the Townsend, what's the hope? Have we gotten a subdivision plan?
Yes, yeah, we have official submissions, yeah.
Okay,
There was some delays because it's in 2 townships and the borough. So we're satisfying all the comments for the borough.
so the borough's signed off by now?
That I don't know.
Oh, okay,
I do know that they were waiting for comments so that they can address them.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. There's nothing new to report on Narema. Their next meeting will be in June, I think. And there's no old business. So we'll go to new business. Update on the audit. I have a court order here that I will read. And now on this 25th day of March 2026, upon review of the petition submitted by Huntington Township Vacancy Board, Adams County, Pennsylvania, seeking to fill a vacancy in the Office of Auditor pursuant to 53 PS 65407, it is hereby ordered that Suzanne Hallman is hereby appointed to fill said vacancy in the Office of Auditor of Huntington Township, effective immediately, and said term of office expiring the first Monday in January following the next municipal election upon the election of their successor.
Excuse me. I have some comments on that and questions.
We're not going to answer questions. If you have comments, you have 3 minutes.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
We paid the attorneys over $1,000 for this petition, and she should answer questions that the residents have about that, because let me go through what I found. March 2nd, Judge Thomas Campbell issued an order that stated, quote, any party interested in being appointed to the vacancy shall submit an application to the court no later than March 13th, 2026. Carl Leach filed his letter of interest on March 13th at 10:29 a.m. because you know I attended the hearing. And I went to the docket and got copies of the filed letters of interest. Suzanne Haleman's filed her letter of interest 5 days late on March 18th, 3 business days late. So why wasn't Suzanne Haleman not qualified for disobeying this order? She completely has no regard for a judge's order. I'd like to know who is responsible to notify the judge that Haleman was late filing. The hearing was held at 11 a.m. on March 25th, 2026. The order appointing Haleman was filed 4 o'clock that afternoon and signed by 4 judges, 3 of whom were not even at the hearing. So I'm a little confused. How is it usual procedure for judges to not be present at a hearing and sign off on an order?
I was not aware of the time of submission of Ms. Hallman.
Could you speak up?
I'm sorry. I was not aware of the time of submission of Ms. Hallman's letter of interest. That's the first time I've heard that, and I will discuss this with Todd King.
Yeah.
So I don't have an answer to that question at the moment, but we'll discuss it, and
Okay.
that could be addressed later. But as far as the panel of judges, I will also have to look into that. I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I don't know the procedure, and I thought it would be interesting for people watching on the live stream and our audience to learn a little bit, because it's a very rare thing, I believe. So that's why I'm interested in the procedure. And then I also have a question on February 26th, Solicitor King billed 0.2 hours, setting up a meeting with the judge to discuss the appointment. So he's not here, unfortunately. I'll ask him next month, but I'd like to know what that meeting was about and what was discussed about the appointment.
For that, you could submit a right to know request.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was my comment and questions.
Thank you. Next is trash contract. The trash contract expired and Latimer Township took on the time to bid the process for Latimer, Huntington, and Tyrone. So the final contract was just presented to us this week and it was signed. So, yes.
Comment on that. You're changing the narrative a little bit there. I mean, they didn't take it on. Apparently, the
did.
secretaries,
They took it on. Yes, ma'am.
well,
They took it on. Yes,
at
ma'am.
whose request did they take that on?
They offered to take it on.
They offered after what? After a
After
phone
what?
call?
No.
Yeah. You
They
never,
offered.
excuse me, this is my
They
comment.
offered.
This is my comment. I'm not
This is my
asking.
comment. They offered it. Period.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because I attended every meeting they had, the three of them, and they indicated that the secretaries called and asked for help. Yet none of you discussed this previously. I have the right to, and Mr. Worley, the supervisor at Lattimore, indicated there was an agreement. Well, there's no written agreement, and none of this was discussed at a public meeting.
It was
And it's a
discussed at a public
violation of the
meeting.
Sunshine Act.
It was discussed at a public meeting and we voted to go by their ending of their contract and we were to pay for 1/3 of their fees to do the contract.
Okay, here's my comment to that. You and Resh were at that meeting on Wednesday. When I brought up the fact that none of this was discussed at any of these public meetings, you rushed back here, probably called Salzman and Hughes and said, what do we do? Let's have a special meeting on Friday at 9 a.m. to just say, and that is on video.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So don't try to change the narratives.
I'm
You
not
all
changing
did this
the narrative.
behind the
I'm
backs of
telling
the
you
residents.
exactly what happened.
Please, do I interrupt you? I'm speaking. The residents pay for this service. They had a right to know what was going on before the bid opening. And you all three chose not to do it. And the secretary was aware of it. She should know better.
We were not aware of anything.
She's supposed to know the Sunshine Act. She should have told
We were not aware
you.
of anything till I signed the contract this week.
Yeah.
Everything was handled by Latimer Township.
No, it
If
wasn't.
you have a problem, you go to Latimer
There are
Township.
emails between Dingus and Lattimore. So I'll go to Mr. Worley. I saw him today because I picked up the Saxon and Stock bills that you all agreed behind the doors in your barn probably to pay 1/3 the fee. You're disgraceful.
Thank you.
Is the
Thank you.
trash
Next,
contract going to go higher than it was?
yes,
per
ma'am.
person? Well, then,
We
the
had
township
one
people-
bid. We have had one bid ever since I've sat in this seat. And it's been from Waste Management.
Okay.
So
You had
if
two
we,
bids.
if we have more than one bid, how do we
You had two bids.
decide?
You go with the lowest bid.
We had none, we had one bid. We
That's
went with the
fine.
lowest
One
bid.
valid bid.
Found.
One valid bid.
One was
One valid,
disqualified.
they had one, they dismissed it because they didn't have references as to whether they
Do you
have
think
complaints.
that the
Mhm.
citizens of Huntington should know about their contract going up?
Yes,
That quickie meeting that you had on Friday, nobody knew about it. It was my sister and I attended, and you asked for public comment. My sister gave her comment, and I stood up. I didn't even say 2-3 words, because I mentioned I felt that this should have been discussed at the last Board of Supervisors meeting. So you quickly shut me down and violate my constitutional right to make my comment. I just want this attorney to know.
thank you.
Yeah, there's
Anything else on the contract?
Well, you better take note of that.
Next, we'll move on to sealed bid for tar and chip. Those advertisements will go out this week, and we will open the bids at the May 14th meeting.
And it was previously discussed certain roads were going to be done.
Yes.
Okay.
And next is to approve the 2026 emergency management plan by NORAMA, and I will make a motion that we do that. Is there a second?
Second it.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
The next one's a typo, number 5, sorry, it's just the same thing as number 4.
Yes.
Is this emergency management plan going to be posted or on the website? Or do
No,
people
it
know
is
what we're
not a
supposed to
public
do?
document. It is only for the people who have emergency
Gotcha.
training.
Okay, gotcha.
Planning Commission meeting will be April the 27th. Next Supervisors meeting will be May the 14th. And then the NORAMA meeting will be June the 10th at Butler Township. Public comment.
Okay, do I have the floor? Okay, I want to let you all know, do you remember when Jeff King and Pat Davis put in the minutes, and he retaliated against me for putting in right-to-know requests about, 3 years ago? And I hired an attorney, brought in Jonathan Jacobs, who was a parliamentarian, and those minutes had to be expunged. Well, you've made the internet, okay? Not for anything good that you've done, but for your nastiness. So the Libertarian National Judicial Committee, Mr. Jacobs, who is the parliamentarian, gave a brief serving as an exemplar of the Libertarian National Committee argument. So this was something to do with their policy manual and possible litigation. So here's...
Does that have anything to do
It does.
with
I'm going to
Huntington
read
Township?
about you lovely people here.
We really don't
Excuse
need to
me,
hear
you're
that
interrupting
unless it
me.
has to do with
You're-
our business.
It is your business because it's about your minutes. Several examples have been given, but here is another one that may be even more telling. The case of Marie DeGangi. Ms. DeGangi, a retired legal secretary, lives in a second-class township, Huntington Township, in Adams County, Pennsylvania. The rural central Pennsylvania township has a population of less than 2,500 residents. The minutes of its Board of Supervisors are public, but not publicly posted. This was back in 2025, this came out. The minutes of the April 14th, 2022 minutes included some items referring to Ms. DeGangi that was inflammatory and derogatory. Ms. DeGangi didn't take this lying down. She appeared at the Board of Supervisors with her attorney, her parliamentarian, and a court reporter. It was likely that had the board not expunged the items from the minutes, she would have sued. So, just want to let you know that now the National Committee, Libertarian National Committee, know all about you.
That's exciting.
And
Great.
yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you
Anybody
very much.
else
but not
have
for
any public
anything
comment?
good, which is par for the course here.
Seeing none, I make a motion we adjourn.
Did you?
Been moved in second.
Excuse
All those
me.
in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I just want to know why there's a $4,000 deed transfer. Who transferred a deed to what? For $4,000?
There was probably 3 of them.
Pardon?
There was 3
Oh,
or 4
there's
of them.
3? Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
You see the deed transfer.
Oh, they're still there? Yeah, that's... We have a private meeting.
How was breakfast?
I always get that.